Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 19th of September. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we've seen a bit of continuation. Yesterday saw us close positively, although it's a bit of a whippy old afternoon, particularly. Today, well, we've seen a charge already, and it's probably making it quite difficult for today's trading. Has broken out of this head and shoulders that was pointed out to me yesterday. It's was looking at it, and it's that's broken. So continuation of that sort of break to the upside eventually may see us running up to this weekly R1 area. It's already broken through into its R2 on the dailies, which sort of restricts the movement. Although yesterday's range was so tight, the pivots today, if I just bring this here, you see how squeezed they are. So there's a possibility we could push beyond that level. But we've already broken yesterday's high and Friday's high all in one go before we start trading. Of course, looking down, there's an untouched pivot below, but whether that will be hit is another matter of it. When it sort of runs off quite so quickly in the mornings like this, often leaves me having to wait for a trade to develop. Of course, we could get a continuation, but been getting an ever expanding, ever bigger bar here, which at some point it tends to collapse, but we'll see. So that's where we are at the moment. As I say, I'm going to have to wait and see. I wasn't really expecting this too much before the FOMC. I don't think a lot of people were. Okay, pound wise, let's have a look from the dailies down then. Pound started seeing a bounce. It's broken out of its regression channel, the upside of that, pushing on upwards. Yesterday it looked like at some stage it might come back for the weekly pivot, but it came short of that. In fact, it did eventually get the daily pivot, but bounced quite well later in the afternoon, evening there from 5 o'clock onwards. It really just started pushing up gradually. Not had quite such a push this morning, and well, whether it will come down to the weekly today, it may be the easier one. If the euro starts rolling over, perhaps the pound may roll with it, and we may see it push towards yesterday's lows. I'm not totally convinced either way, really, with this. It's, as I say, it's had a reasonable push, but nowhere near as strong at the moment, it would appear, as the euro. Dollar yen, real softening through the Asian session so far. It's pushed up quite strongly yesterday again, and sort of, as I said, as risk comes back on, it comes out of these safety currencies, and the yen is by far seen as a safety currency these days, or one of the major ones. It's got such good liquidity, it makes it a good place to put your money when you want safety. So there it is. It's been pushing up, as I say, unwinding of some positions may be going on here, and we'll see it pushing up towards. And this may be in expectation, this movement of changing the FOMC stance a little bit. You never know, but may just be people pulling their sort of short positions on the yen anyway. Anyway, there's or increase them, should I say? Short positions on the dollar, that's what I meant. Okay, so well, we've already hit the daily pivot R1. Got a little way to go on this. It may roll from here, strengthen up a little bit, but the way it's trending, I'd rather be on the long side than the short side. So as much as it's got some sort of weak signals there, I'd rather leave it. Aussie dollar, well, through the Asian session, we saw the news come out. It did almost make it right the way back yesterday. I was talking about it running back towards its monthly pivot. Well, it came just short of that into the daily 34 there, daily 50 just below. It's not certainly is not one of the stronger at the moment. It did drop off through the Asian session there. Rhetoric was pretty hawkish still, but obviously not good enough, and the markets failed to respond too much, although it has edged its way back and recovered since the discussions there. I think we've got today, this morning, have we got no speakers late this morning? I was looking to see if we had a bit of an overrun on Australian speakers, but we haven't. So at the moment, edging its way back up already through a daily pivot here. I mean, a break of this trend that's sort of sitting across the lows here, to me, may see it running back to the previous lows there, and that pivot below, which back towards that monthly pivot, is certainly a possibility. Spikiness of these highs make me very wary of them. It's just sort of pop and drop like this movement here. It's popped up there, dropped off quite sharply. So as I say, not exciting on this at all. Excited about this. And finally, Canadian dollar. Well, let's go from the dailies here, and well, continues shoving up yesterday. Pushed up quite nicely into the daily 21 there. It's carried on with its higher lows, higher highs. From this stage, will it continue pushing up? We'll see. It's consolidating at the moment, which could just be a signal that it's going to find some support and then push up again. It does have a daily pivot below, which could be a draw there with the 21s, may give us a bounce. So we'll see how that comes, and if it comes together, that may give us a bounce for a further move to the upside. It does certainly look like, as you start rolling out of here, there's a bit of a trend change going on. In the short term, the real question is, can it break through at 21 now and push towards the upper channel, the aggression channel, where 34.50 is? It's a long time since it's been back to that 50. Okay, so I'm relatively bullish on that. Euro, I'm a bit wary of, because the shape overnight, it may still have some more legs in this. As I said, the pivots were pinched. We may still have some upside potential, but need a bit of a retrace first. So I think it may be a waiting game this morning, but we'll see. As news-wise today, well, we've already had the monetary policy meeting minutes out on Tuesday morning at 2:30 from the Australian figures. From that way onwards, we've got very little this morning of significance. We've got the German economic sentiment at 10, which is a non-mover normally, has very little effect, may get a little blip. Canadian manufacturing sales, not really great mover, and then building permits in the US and nothing data. The current account, housing starts don't really move too much data at all there, so it's a slow old afternoon in terms of data. So any ad hoc speeches may create some volatility, but other than that, it looks like it may be a quiet one today. Have a great day. Bye for now.